Yes, yes. Once again, here with the Reentry Connect podcast, Strat with Dr. Hubert Williams, Dr. H. Everybody know him as. But yes, indeed, we're here for a special treat tonight. But without further ado, I got to definitely give a shout out to One Day at a Time, Mr. Mel Wells, ODAD, best recovery support, reentry support here in the city.
ODAD, straight up salute.
ODAD, who that? ODAD at 215-226-7860. We appreciate you, Mr. Mel Wells. Shout out to GPStransportation.net, best transportation company in the city of Philadelphia, Tri-State, Jersey, New York, Delaware, anywhere you want to get. Feel free to mention my name and they'll give you a special discounted rate, guaranteed. And if they don't, give me a call. I'll make sure it's taken care of. All right. But without further
gotta mention his name.
We got to get back. We got to get back because we got a special guest here. Yes, Dr. William H. I appreciate having you here. Man, this thing is about to be live tonight. I appreciate you coming, bringing your organization and explaining the programs that you've created. You know, most times people will try to frown upon or even try to laugh at people for trying to develop programs that's out here to help and develop, you know, a lot of people in these communities. So, brother, Dr. William H., if you could go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people where you're from.
How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Y'all can hear me?
They can hear you. Yes, sir.
Well, how y'all doing? My name Herbert Williams. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I just came home from doing altogether 17 years in the penitentiary. I was locked up for armed robbery and unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, and possession with intent to deliver, and the list goes on and on. Mm-hmm. Throughout my incarceration, I've learned to develop a different way of thinking because I was put in a place that was strange to me, even though I was in and out of the system as a child. The moment I went into Gratisford and I had to walk on B Block, which is a quarter mile long, I realized why they called that the city. And I was able to adapt in a hostile environment without no casualties. Meaning, I did 17 years in the penitentiary and never got into a fight, never got into an argument, never went to the hole, never been disrespected, ever. I can never think of a time a person disrespected me my whole time, even going through Camp Hill. Mm-hmm. I never. And people say, well, how is that possible? You must have been in his cell. What? Never. Men respect men. That's just my bottom line. If you stand upon integrity, if you stand upon principles of manhood or womanhood or whatever hood that you in, that you repping, if you stand on it, people gonna respect you for who you say you are.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So, Dr. Williams.
And
okay. Well, continue. I was about to ask you a question. Like I know you give me go ahead, keep giving your story, keep giving your testimony.
No, so real quick to speed up my journey to mental health, you know, even before I got certified, because it started the peer specialist program upstate, the CPS program, the certified peer specialist, the mental health board realized that they needed people inside of the infection that was already infected and was cured from the infection to help cure the infection. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me?
Is this how you developed the STRAT program? So how did you come up with the word STRAT?
So the word strap come from the stall and the love and the reconstructive behavior program. So because once you strap with all the tools that the stall has, because it's a multitude of programs that's sister and tell it to the stall, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Go ahead, I'm with you. We all hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you. They can hear you.
And it's a multitude of programs that's connected to the love program. Mm-hmm. So with all these programs together, you strap, because now you can stop, you can think, you can regroup, you can hold everything to the accountability level that need to be held to, and you can prevent or progress on. So when you strap, you secure, you feel safe. You're not worried about nobody running up on you. You're comfortable in any area because you strap. But instead of just being strapped with a firearm, because your mind is your most powerful weapon if you know how to activate it.
Mm. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So tell us. So strap. What is the acronym? All right. What is that spelling out? We know the acronym is strap.
Oh,
but what does it spell out?
It stands for stop, think, regroup,
okay,
account, and progress and prevent.
Gotcha.
Because you're gonna hold everything accountable, which means you're gonna think for the individual or individuals. Because sometimes one voice can take over the masses.
Wow.
Depending on what it's saying and how it's being presented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, prime example. You ready for this?
Okay.
Hitler took with his words, and he sold an idea that everybody bought, because he created characters of authority, and everything that's in existence want to be in authority. Because being in authority, you don't have to worry about nothing, because everything is under you, because you're the authoritative figure.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, Dr. H, when you came out, right, you noticed that there was some type of change that needed to be made. You noticed that these programs that you came up with, that you eventually had to implement them inside the school systems and different organizations, whether it be nonprofit or whatever the case may be. So what was the process in which you had to take in order to do that?
I had to volunteer. I started volunteering. The first place I started my program at was a place called the Otley House on 68th and Woodland. It's a male shelter. And I volunteered my assistance there because the male shelter needed assistance. The men needed balance. They needed a new way of thinking. They needed someone who was in the same position as they were, that could understand where they at without judging them and giving them the "you should have" conversation. Because when it comes to healing, you don't use the word should. That's a bad word in recovery. Don't never say should, because it make a person feel like they ain't do it.
Yeah. So
I started this program.
Go ahead.
So I started my program at 68th and Woodland, and then I start coming out to different events and presenting myself, and speaking to the people, coming up to where the places where all these shootings had. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? At the school when they need people to come out, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? And myself personally, I would go ahead and buy food and get clothes because I work for a Scepter doing outreach for a company called Eagle Staffing. And I would go out there and give out clothes and food and buy them coffee in the morning and just sit there and talk with them, talking about the people who live on the street, the homeless, because they exist. And they are a part of my life because I have to interact with them. I have to smell them. I have to see them. I have to tell them yes or no because they're going to come to me whether I want them to or not. So I seen that people don't care no more.
Wow.
In the communication level, the intimacy of communication is a million below zero because everybody texting. So there's no concern because text don't have no words. So you don't give that intimacy with conversation. I sat and I talked with these people and I asked them as an outreach, as a person who's asking you, do you need help? How can I help you? What can outreach do to not enable you, but help you move forward in becoming aware that you need help? And I spent 8 to 16 hours every day interviewing people because I need to know. And I take care of them without money, with money I don't have. And as my name, Dr. Williams, the mental health holistic doctor, as a doctor, you find out the problem and you go for a remedy to better that person within their sickness. So when I ask a person what's wrong with them, and I ask a person, how can I help them? And then I give them and produce that help that I asked them that they need, then that is what it's all about.
You're right.
That's what it's about. So my journey started with me giving my passion all of me. I left the streets alone. I left messing with a whole bunch of women alone. I messed thinking about you, my friend. I don't have no friend until you prove to me that when I fall backwards, you're going to catch me. I ain't got to look back to see if you're going to be there because I know if I slip, you're going to hold my slide.
Yeah. So Dr. Will H, man, tell us a little bit of what's to come. So I know you got the STRAP program, but you also got something that's called STOP. So now how are we going to be able to get in contact with these programs if they want to implement them in different places?
You can reach me at 267-312.
Oh, Dr. Will makes you cut back out, but if you're still watching, you can definitely log back in. But my brother, Dr. William H., he was on here explaining different things, different programs that he developed while he was in prison. But however, when he came home, he was able to, try to put it on paper, to try to implement them, for a lot of the at-risk youth, for a lot of the people that's out here in the world that probably can benefit and learn from him. He did 17 years himself and doing a lot of time, like I said, me doing a lot of time myself, sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy because, throughout those type of times, you lose your family, you lose people that you thought that were your friends. But when you do come home, a lot of times when you do come home, you start realizing like, wow, who are the real people that's in your corner? But we did bring Dr. William H back now. I was just filling them until you got back. So the last thing we heard from you, Dr. William H, was the phone number. I believe this is your email address right here, correct? streetfam.bh
Yes,
at
sir.
gmail.com. And if you could state your phone number one more time so people can contact you if need be.
My phone number is 267-312-9360. And I travel. I have a barber wellness program that I do. So I come to anywhere you at, anywhere in the United States. And if you need me to come overseas, help me get there and I'll help you with the seasonings. For real. That's how it go, man. I come to where healing is needed. I'm universal in my approach, and I'm universal for everybody. So that's where you can find me, at your front door if you need me. You got my information.
That's it. So tell us a little bit about the other program you had that's called Stop or Stall. Something you had called Stall. Little people were asking about that from before that you was touching on. What was that about?
Oh, well, the Stall program is a impulsivity, honing, permanent prevention, coping skills program. I named it long like that because it is an impulsivity, honing, permanent prevention, coping skills program. Because impulsivity gets you in trouble, to get you held punishment. Being impulsive caused me and you and everybody else to be incarcerated and away from our loved ones. Being impulsive caused people to lose their wife and their husband. And being impulsive caused people to lose their friends in the street because they did something out of the ordinary and got somebody hurt or killed.
Wow. Yeah. You still there, doctor? Go ahead.
Hold on.
So we hear.
Calling out on my phone.
Okay, go ahead.
You hear me? Right. So being impulsive is the reason why we lose everything we work hard for. It's the reason why we lose everything we work hard for.
Absolutely.
Everything. So, hold on, I'm fixing my joint because my wife done came in here and messed it up. I got blaming on her right now because she messed it up.
Not a problem. All right.
Hold on.
So Dr. William H., so we know that you come up with these programs. We know you got a lot going on. So for the most part, these services, we know that you say you could go to, you could be reached everywhere. You could go everywhere. You could meet people at their house. You do the traveling thing. So for the most part, what are some of the encouraging words that you give to a lot of the young people today? A lot of the youth, the juveniles, the one that's, I'm going to say 21 and under, because a lot of times we find a lot of shootings. We're finding a lot of robberies. We're finding a lot of different things going on, not just in the city of Philadelphia, but everywhere, all the way to Chicago, New York, Connecticut, California. There's a lot of violence. So what type of inspiration or jewels that you can cast to them, just so they can, really take heed to not going the way, the bad way that we once did?
I mean, honestly, so it's funny you said that. So one of the things I did, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I apologize, y'all, for this inconvenience. It's raining where I'm at, and the reception where I'm at is messed up. And I'm sorry, but I'm at work taking care of my client, so I forgive me. One thing I'm gonna say is this: don't give up on yourself. Meaning, Don't think that your reality is your worth. Your reality not your worth. It's just something that's you got to go through right now because it's real. It's the root word to reality is real. It's what's happening in your life. So you got to go through that in order to become who you really are.
Mm.
You got to go through that chameleon stage. You got to go through that cocoon stage, that metamorph stage. You got to go through that. Your wings got to develop. So you got to feel pain. It's sad to say, iron sharp as iron. In order to make a sword, you got to bang the iron, and you got to bang it and bang it and bang it and bang it and till it and bang it and till it and bang it until it become what you want. Put that energy into yourself. Look in the mirror and don't take the makeup off, take the eyelashes off. Don't worry about your shape up. Let your hair grow out because you want to see you. Because when you get a shape up and all that, that's not you. That's you enhancing your figure so you could be accepted from others. Because if you go be natural, you ain't gonna get no shape up. Because you know who you are and you already shaped up. Because God, Allah, already shaped you.
Mm-hmm.
So accept me for who I am. This is my work. This is who I am. Take me for what I am. The bitter and the sweet.
So let me ask you,
you got to learn to accept you, your bitterness and your sweetness.
Real quick, just for a lot of this goes for a lot of the young people right now, especially for a lot of the shooters, a lot of these kids that want to carry these guns, ghost guns. They want to shoot out broad daylight. Good and well, there's cameras out and all this stuff. What are some of the words that you can tell them about and the consequences of carrying these firearms and the consequences of shooting somebody, the consequences of literally getting into the wrong place at the wrong time involving these shootings? What can you say about that? Dr. William H., your reception is going out pretty bad. But as soon as you come back in, I want to make sure that, okay, you'll be back in. But I just asked him the question about that, about the firearms and things like that here in the city and in other places as well, whether it be in New York, whether it be Philadelphia, Jersey, Chicago. Dealing with these firearms and these shootings and things like that, you got to be aware that there are consequences for that. And I'm telling you, you got to think twice because you don't want to grow up in no prison. It's not a cool place. You may think you're going to get brownie points for riding for somebody. You think you're going to get brownie points because you're showing people that you're not a nut and you ain't going to let nobody talk to you any type of way, whatever the case may be. But just believe you better start double thinking, before you pull the trigger, before you decide to ride with certain people. Because I'm telling you, those mountains have a place for you. Those mountains, the jails have a place for you. But Brother H, if you heard my last question about the guns and violence, what type of advice could you give to them?
I would say to put the guns down because you're about to go into a place. You're about to go into a place if you touch these guns that if you're not qualified to deal with mental warfare, I would advise you to stop. Go back to school because it's bigger than guns. And it's going to be hard to really get to them, a lot of them, because the phone thing. Shooting people now has become a fad. It ain't even about beef no more. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's about being caught on camera so you can get a whole bunch of views on Instagram. So they drilling on cameras on purpose. They carrying cameras drilling on purpose. This ain't no mistake. I can see we are talking to children that was just making mistakes. Understand what I'm saying to you? We talking to individuals that's making conscious decisions. So the approach got to be different. Because they purposely recording these killings.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation that we can have with them, it can't be rehearsed on LinkedIn. It can't be rehearsed nowhere, because you got to get them and tell them how you feel right then and there from whatever in your heart when it comes to what you see them doing. So in order to make them feel it, you got to get them in their moment, because they are in the moment already. So you got to get in that moment.
Yeah.
You can't pre-talk that. They purposely killing each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
They had it on Instagram when the young boy he was sleeping in the house, and the young boy walked in while he was asleep. They took it right off, and they shot him with the whole clip in his ribs. Sleep.
Wow.
So whoever called him over there, look at the mindset. He here sleep. That meant he trusted whoever told him that they was. Listen, man. So here, we can't rehearse this. I'm not a rehearser. When it comes to moving front line, I get my assignment and I meet my reality at the front line. When I walk out there and talk to them kids, I don't rehearse nothing I say, because what I'm about to say is already in my heart. So I ain't got to talk about it until I see you. The pain is here. I done lost 2 of my youngins. The pain is here.
Wow. Who did you lose?
2 of my sons.
Wow. Explain that, please.
One got stabbed in his neck by his brother girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And my other young boy got shot 76 times.
Wow.
So and understanding how it feel to lose, and understanding how I feel to have to deal with not being able to see your youngins, regardless on how they came in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to losing something that is irreplaceable in your life, it's hard to think about anything other than getting back what you lost or paying back who took it from you.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I had to make a choice to be a rectifier or a retaliator.
Wow.
Be a rectifier. Because retaliation ain't gonna do nothing but make more family members cry and miss their loved ones.
So the
way that we get these young boys to stop, the way that we get them to pay attention, is we gotta take them back to what they done, and we got to show them these bodies, and we gotta make them stay there and smell that stench. We gotta make them lay in a body bag. We gotta make them lay in their coffin and put them in the ground and temporarily bury them for 60 seconds so they can see what it feels like. We gotta show them the reality of what they're doing. It's called reconstructive behavior. They do worse than that in penitentiaries when it comes to reconstructive thinking, rehabilitation. You living a dirty life, so you gotta live dirty with them. You can't play with these babies because they're not babies, they savages. But it's because of the way they thinking. So that's think the same way. Okay, you don't want to think like that no more because you don't like this, right? You don't want to think like that because you tired of sitting in this room full of dead bodies from gunshot being gunned down. This your lifestyle. Why you don't want to be in here? This what you produce every day. You got a body count. Some of your victims might be in here because some of these kids don't got families that give enough FUC, how you feeling, to come and identify the body. So they leave them in the morgue. So I'm going to take you to the young boy you just took out of here and let you go sit with him. Without your gun. And you can't move because we're going to tie you to the chair and you're going to sit next to him because this is your product. This is what you do. This is your creation. So marinate in it and accept it. And if you tired of this, then I'm gonna take you out of here and show you a different way. But not until you tired of smelling that stench. Not until you tired of him looking at you, asking you why you did that, because your mind gonna start playing games on you when you living around a whole bunch of dead bodies. I know. You gotta give people organic healing. And the only way you're gonna do that is you gotta take them through what they already been through. Reverse effect. With the drip effect. That's how you get them. You can't talk to them because they savages and all they know is go. So you got to go with them.
Wow.
With a loving approach, though. Because in order to heal and till, when you got a fresh garden and you buy your farm and you want to plant your harvest, you can't dig that dirt soft. When you till that land, you got to dig in that dirt and get that dirt grinder with that big machine to lift that dirt up and grind it up, because you want to plant a new crop in there. You want to put different seeds in there. So you got to get through that bad garbage and put new fertilized dirt down after you put them seeds in that ground. I'm the dirt digger. I'm the florist. I'm the crop duster. You want to take these young boys and get them right, you got to take them and get them off the street and put them through boot camp. Where we going to simulate a real war, and they going to have to go through war for real and see where they cut like. Because when you start applying different pressure to people, they reality become humble and submissive. You got to take a child back to a child state, because it's the parents' fault and the adult fault out here within the last 17 years that they started treating children equal. So how they going to respect you when they see you as equal to them because you treat them that way? How they going to respect you? How they going to respect women when they call each other bruh?
Wow.
How they gonna respect men when they calling each other sis? Not talking about nobody, but the design is the design. How can you expect children to respect us as men and women when we not conducting ourselves as men and women? Because a lot of us don't even have idea of our identity, because they allow us to choose who we are. That's too much privilege. That's too much liberty. You was chose who to be when God gave you what he gave you through the womb in your mother. Within the 5-month period of your creation, you was perceived to be a male or a female. That's why the testicles are ovaries.
And I totally agree. I totally understand where you're coming from with that. And the reason why we just gotta be a little sensitive with that subject is because we have a lot of different communities that do watch this broadcast. Rather be LGBT.
Well, I don't want to offend nobody in no type of way.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I don't want to offend nobody, right?
Yeah.
But understand this, and I ain't trying to. This is the reason why it's like that now, because it's a pick and a choose on who we can talk to like that, who we can't, who we can offend, or who we can't. For years on end, we was called niggas and burnt on front of the people, and nobody got in trouble until this day. But since we called a person outside their character, now all of a sudden we got a mouth. But what about my skin color? I still get called a nigga right now, and nobody get penalized. So this is why the kids out here, they don't see no respect, because there's no boundaries. There's no balance.
Dr. H.
There's no balance, man. Don't call them homosexuals. Don't talk about the Jews. Don't talk about
Dr. H, real quick. Dr. H. So, real quick, I understand that, we can, get a little sometimes it gets a little emotional because we know these things, it cuts deep. But Dr. H, I'm gonna bring you back on. But at the same time, we got to be mindful of the platform that we're dealing with. You know, we have a lot of people. We even have kids. We have juveniles watching this program as well. We got a lot of many different activists that's watching. But what I'm going to say is, I always want to display respect for this program in general. So Dr. William H, he's about to come back on, but we got to be mindful. You know, we got to have self-control. We got to have temperance because it's very important that, again, that we don't offend other people, and that we keep everything respectful, you know, because this is a platform where we're going to be informing people and giving them encouragement. We're going to be enlightening them with different things and different views of life. But at the same time, Dr. H, I was just explaining to them that, you know, we just, again, being mindful that this platform has a lot of different people watching. It's a lot of juveniles, a lot of young kids. You know, we got older people watching as well. So if we don't maintain self-control or temperance, sometimes people can, you know, it can go left and people can view that a different way. So, but it's okay. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? But we know how sensitive it can be, the type of subject, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, we can get animated. We will get adamant, you know, we can get assertive and things like that. But I appreciate, you know, just keeping control of that. You know what I mean? You know, and that's not getting, you know, and it's not to stir up anything, any type of beef with anybody or anything, but we just have to acknowledge that. But without further ado, if you can give any individuals some a word of encouragement that's behind a bar, jail cell, or inside a reentry house, AA house, whatever the case may be, what type of motivation, what type of encouraging words would you give them?
So we talk about motivational words. So I'm gonna tell them to hone into themselves, and when it comes to other people, utilize my second program. It's called Love. It's a sensitivity skill training, stand for listen, observe, validate, and empathize. If you learn to do this to people, I bet you will have a better feeling in yourself, because you will see that people will enjoy your company, which will give you more value with your presence, because they're going to want you there. So in saying that, I say, man, just love yourself and be supportive to people, and just know that everybody have their own life and is diverse. And with that diverse understanding, have a diverse approach in your approach when it comes to assistance. And that's what I got to say to people, man. Just
yeah, we appreciate you, Dr. H, and we definitely want to have you on here again. We're going to be having your PowerPoints and your slides that you're going to be, showing other people and things like that. I know that time is of the essence of the day, but we really appreciate all the input, all the insight, man, that you gave to us. And we know that all this stuff is aired between Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Everybody giving their love, man. So, but no doubt, without further ado, we're going to get ready to go ahead and end this broadcast. Again, appreciate having you and hope to see you again soon, all right?
I want to say thanks, everybody. Listen, forget my passion. I lost a lot of people this year, and I'm passionate about this, and I'm passionate about really doing something to change, man. And so if you're really passionate, you got my information. I'm here for anybody. I work with anybody when it comes to doing something constructive. And I thank you too, Mr. Hudson. I'm proud of you, man. And for the record, everybody, I got an award coming out. I want to present this. I got a magazine called The Drip Effect. It's an amazing magazine. And I have 2 awards. They are from the ground up Man's Man Award, and from the ground up Woman's Woman Award. And I want y'all to know that I'm presenting Mr. Hudson with the Man's Man from the Ground Up Award, because he did it from the ground up. He's a man's man because he helped the men. And if y'all know anybody that's worthy of these awards, from a man's man to a woman's woman award, because women do it from the ground up, we can't do it without y'all. I thank y'all. I thank you, Mr. Hudson. I'm proud of you, man. That background speak volumes because it used to be pictures of just people on the wall because we were trying to get through a different part of our life. So your journey means a lot, man. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your platform. I love you, man, and I'm here for you anytime you need me.
You have people in here in the chat, man. The man is saying blessings. You got brother Grim. I think you remember Grim in here. He said congratulations to you as well, Dr. Williams. Appreciate you. But yeah, no doubt. But without further ado, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and end this broadcast. I'm your host, Keenan Hudson, here with the Reissue Connect podcast strap with Dr. Hubert Williams, Dr. H. Yes, indeed. Graham shouting us out again. He said both of y'all super hype. Y'all growing and teaching on y'all journey. Absolutely. We appreciate you, Graham.
That's right.
Yeah, Graham, we gonna have you on here too soon, Graham. Yeah, we gonna talk about all the good times, man. Indeed. But without further ado, y'all.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. I look forward.